Good morning, everyone. Quarter past the hour. Thousands of Christians living in Mosul, Iraq, forced to flee after the threat from the ISIS group, the terror group, saying this: convert, pay a protection tax, or be killed.
Now, churches are being turned into mosques, and holy sites like Jonah's tomb are being blown to bits. Joining us now with exclusive new details on the situation unfolding on the ground there is Hugh Iwanicki. He's a former emissary to Iraq and author of Shock and Alarm. Good morning, Hugh.
Good morning, and thank you for having me.
And you've got some dramatic new information this morning. You're really talking about a genocide. Tell us what's going on in Iraq and how are Christians being affected?
Well, that's right. It is, in fact, a genocide that's going on. And what's happening in Iraq shouldn't be a surprise to us. The events that have taken place are entirely predictable, as I wrote about in my book, Shock and Alarm. I'm sorry, go ahead.
And Hugh, your sources are saying that there were 60,000 Christians in Mosul back in 2003. Then this past June, there were just 35,000. Today, currently 0. I mean, these numbers, astonishing. What can you attribute this to?
This is shocking, and in fact, some of my sources have provided me that, for example, there's the Presbyterian Church in Mosul that was founded in 1850, has now closed its doors, is deserted with the last 4 members fleeing the country.
Well, tell us also, you also detail how an American Christian now is being held for $5 million ransom by ISIS, the dastardly terrorist group there. Tell us about that.
Well, I can't really go into a lot of details about that, but that is correct. Several months ago, an American Christian woman was kidnapped by ISIS, and she's being held for $5 million with her life in the balance here.
Well, what do you think the President of the United States needs to do in this situation? I mean, for Christians, Christians make up a large portion of the population here at home, and we're supposed to love our brothers and sisters in Christ. What does President Obama need to do?
Well, this is a very good question. When there was one Palestinian teenager that was killed in Israel, Obama spoke out publicly on this issue, and yet the president has refused to speak out publicly on what's happening in Iraq. Thousands of Christians are being killed or forced to flee from their homes. We as Americans, I believe, need to take decisive action, and not just the president, but also our country. Americans need to contact their elected representatives and to put pressure on our government to help these Iraqis find safety. Another thing that we can do, as far as I wrote about my book, is that there's donations that Americans can help as far as to help these Christians. For example, it's Open Doors and Voice of the Martyrs.
Well, that's very, very interesting. And a lot of Americans feel powerless and helpless in hearing about this and are wondering why the American government has not stepped up, but they can step up in their small ways. Hugh Iwanicki, Shock and Alarm, new book. Thanks for being with us here today. Keep us up to date as what is happening with this new genocide, as you say.